Hi, I'm John Cato and I'm standing to represent you on Town Council and North Somerset Council. To do that, I really need to know what you think and feel about Portishead and what sort of things, issues and so on that you actually want to get dealt with. I'm collecting information for that on a survey which I'd love you to fill in. And it won't take you very long at all. Just do the survey, that'd be great. Now I'm thinking there's a number of reasons why you say I wouldn't want to do the survey. One of them is I'm not political. And this has got nothing to do with politics. This is about giving you what you really want. And so, it's got nothing to do with politics. That's not a good reason not to do it. So what would be another good reason not to do it? Another good reason not to do it would be I don't like to fill in forms where people might find out what I'm thinking or feeling or something like that. And again, this particular survey has got no collection of any information about you at all. It's completely anonymous. So that's not a good reason not to do it. Another good reason not to do it would be, let's say, I don't have enough time right now. And, let's say it's going to take you 2 or 3 minutes to say what you really, really want. And if you haven't got 2 or 3 minutes to say what you really, really want, you probably don't really, really want it. So there you have it. Please fill in the form. Go through, do the survey. Tell us what you really, really want. It's important. Okay, let me tell you something about what's already coming in. Now, it's very early days, but it's getting there, and it's really interesting. I'm finding it fascinating. The first thing is, overall, how much do you like living in Portishead? And you know what? A lot of you are saying a great deal. Look at this. 68% so far of responses are saying 68%. And then a lot are saying 25%. That is huge. That means Portishead is worth fighting for. It's one of those places which we could become like a national leader potentially of a place where people would aspire to not only living in, but also modelling how to do it better in their own towns. And wouldn't that be great? I would just love that. And only a few have said moderate amount. Nobody said not so much. Nobody said a little. Nobody said not at all. I mean, that's just amazing results, really. Okay, so the next question we have is this one here. How strong is the sense of community where you live? Now, when you look at studies about what makes a difference to a community, what makes a difference to our overall well-being and happiness, and ultimately, it doesn't matter whatever one's striving for in life, ultimately it comes down to you want your own well-being and happiness and that of your family. So how strong is the sense of community where you live is known to be one of the markers of what makes a good place to live and leads to well-being. So the higher we have on this, the better it is. And at the moment, we've got a few saying extremely strong. But at the moment, we're very strong and somewhat strong, and we've got a few not so strong. That is something that needs to be addressed, because if we can improve that, we can improve the overall sense of our well-being and happiness, which actually has an impact on everything else in our lives. So the next one, how well are your streets maintained? Now this tells you a lot as well. It's indicated by various studies that if you sense that your streets aren't maintained well, it reduces your sense of commitment and involvement in the community, your ability to care and do things in the right way for yourself, your family, your community. So you just kind of accept it or ignore it or something like that. Not a good sign. And here we've got some really bad figures. We've got no extremely wells. We've got a few very wells, but mostly somewhat well or not so well. That is something else that needs to be addressed if we want to improve Portishead and make it a town that is actually a countrywide leader, inspiration of how a place should be. And here we have another one. How safe do you feel in your neighbourhood? That's another important question. Going back a long while, I'm talking now probably 30 or 40 years or so, if you looked at how people felt about trusting their neighbours, how safe they felt, trustworthiness, the question was asked, about trustworthiness in your community, and the answers were typically about 65 to 70% would say absolutely, no question. I could lose my wallet and I know it'd get handed in. I could leave my front door open and it wouldn't matter because it'd be safe. That was the kind of response that we're getting. Nowadays, the kind of response we're getting is something like 30 or 35% are saying that, which is dismal and something that needs to be changed. Portishead, thankfully, so far, as I say, is not, I haven't got yet, these are really early results, but so far what we're saying here is extremely safe, 17.9%, very safe, 71.4%, somewhat safe is 10.7%. That inspires me. It inspires me to think about just, the capability of Portishead being a real leader, a real shining example of the way in which things could be done. And if we can get more and more information like this, and if we can get to influence the council to work and connect with people's real views and actively involve with it and engage in communication properly, then we stand a chance. And that's what I'm standing for. I'm standing to get onto council so that I can influence the way in which the councils can operate. I know there are lots of good people there, and I know that they could be inspired to actually do all of the right things. So that's what I'm standing for. Anyway, there are a lot more questions, and I will answer, I'll tell you more about those survey questions in another video. It's John Cato, and I wish you well, and I wish you everything that you wish for yourself. But most of all, I wish that you will fill in this questionnaire, this survey, and tell me what you really, really want. I'd really appreciate that. Thank you very much, John Cato.